So good morning, welcome. Everyone, if you come, take a nice comfortable seat to start, crossing the legs or sitting with them outwardly extended, your choice. And let's just take a few moments here to rub the palms together. And we'll activate some breath, so take a deep breath and reach your arms up above your head. And then exhale, let the arms float down naturally. Good. And then again, rubbing with the palms. Feeling the connection between your palms, the heat that's being generated. Good. Let's inhale and press the palms up to the sky. Fill as much breath as you can into the body. And then when it's natural, watch the breath escape through the nose or mouth. Good. Nice and slow. And one more time. So we're generating some energy between the palms, some higher vibration, and we're bathing the field around us. Look like as you inhale, you're drawing that energy up nice and strong throughout the spine, through the crown of the head. And when you exhale, you're creating a protective sphere all around the body. Just like that, nice and slow, consistent movement. And then you can flip the palms up on the lap and close the eyes down. And feel that you're sitting with a positive anticipation. The whole body relaxed, all the muscles softening. Relax the expression on your face, and then very gently settle your focus at the point between the two eyebrows. Feel that you're looking from within your brain out beyond the space of the forehead. Feel that there's more space for your consciousness to expand. You might even begin to notice the rhythm of your breath as it's flowing into the body and leaving the body. Allow everything to be natural as it is. The body resting natural in its position. The breath flowing in its own rhythm. And even allowing thoughts to come and go in the mind if they do. Feeling yourself mentally detached from the whole scene unfolding before you. Then you might start with a little wiggling of the fingers, little wiggling of the toes, and we'll stir to draw the palms upward facing along the spine. Keep the eyes closed and inhale as if you are filling up a cup raising the water level, hands rising all the way until they're up above the head, palms facing each other. And then as you exhale, let all that wonderful sense of energy and awareness expand as you drop the hands down towards the ground, palms always facing up. So take a few rounds like this. The whole body's relaxed and natural. You might imagine like you're pulling the curtain up and away from the eyes so that you can behold the truth that lies before you, which is a blissful and joyful nature. Let this be the last round, exhaling as the palms part, open wide. All right, we'll have just a brief chant to get us attuned in the center of the heart. This chant is called Bhajamanama, and it's a chant to the Divine Mother. Enjoy these next few moments together, centered in the heart, feeling our whole being uplifted. Let's join in at the point between the two eyebrows for the last couple breaths. A deep inhalation through the nose and a slow titration of exhalation, letting the breath come out calmly, and then the eyes can begin to open. So let's just go ahead and start with some rubbing of the palms. trying to maintain the awareness that you've built so far, so you can keep eyes closed and just rub up and down the arms. Make sure you get up towards the shoulder. And do it with some vigor, feeling that all the cells underneath the parts of the body that you're rubbing are beginning to wake up. Good, and back to rubbing with the palms. Good. And then over towards one of the shoulders and the chest, over to the other side. Good. And sort of like you're bathing in the body underneath, along the ribs, another side. Good. Another time, rubbing with the palms. You'll start to feel the whole body waking up. You feel invigorated. Let's do the belly. And then reverse the direction. Good. And again, rubbing the palms. And then go up above the head and see what that feels like. Feel like this friction is burning all of those loose ends of energy to other thoughts, past or future moment. Good. And then take the palms and just rub the legs. Start to slow down a little bit. Good. Nice deep breath here. We'll finish with the kidneys. You can just take the palms and rub the low back. Do little circles or up and down. Good. Alright. And then how about a little drumming on the head? So take soft fists and just start to drum on the crown of the head and the sides. You can use the affirmation, be wise, be strong, my brain. Be wise, be strong. Be wise, be strong. Good. And then tips of the fingers anchoring into the scalp and shifting the skin. Just loosening any tension. Make sure you get every part of the head into the forehead. Good. And we'll take first 3 fingers. We're going to seal them right to the top of the spine, base of the skull. It's a little soft spot in the brain. It's the medulla oblongata, and start circling with pressure, pushing into that soft muscle, and then reverse the direction. Good. We're going to bow the head and take a double inhale and tense back into that point. So squeeze the back of the neck and then release. And come back to circling. You want to feel that you're breaking up any blocks to a joyful expression here. This is the seat of the ego. Let's do another double inhale. And releasing. Good. Last time, circling, massaging the muscle. And double inhale. Good. Double exhale. Let's just take a moment here. Palms upward facing. Look to the spiritual eye. Notice how the whole body feels. Try to relax every last muscle. And when you're ready, you can slowly open the eyes. So we're going to recline the hands back to us and just send our legs out nice and long. And start with some drumming on the knees. So drum the legs under the ground. This is a great way to send blood flow back into the legs. Good. Get everything waking up here in the body. And then go double time if you can. Nice and quick, nice and quick. Alright, and then relax. We'll just do the feet side to side, so wave them off in either direction. Good. Just like that. And then how about stirring the feet? So point the toes and then flex them back towards the face. And you can even do a little stirring with your torso if you like. And then reverse the direction. Good. And then blinking with the toes. Curl them under, relax, curl under, relax. Over and over and over and over. Alright, beautiful. And we're going to take our feet down onto the earth and just let the knees rock side to side. Arching in the back a little. Good. And just think that you're liberating all the energy that gets trapped in the lower centers of the body. And we're redirecting that energy that is overly focused on the outside world, and we're bringing some of it back into the spine. You have this wonderful example behind me of the chakras or the various energy centers going up your spine. So we're working on the first two mostly, and a little bit into the third here in this little movement. Good. All right, and then we're going to sweep the feet around and go ahead and come right up onto hands and knees and continue working up the spine with a little sequence of cat and cow. So you take your hands nice and broad and drop the chin low and the belly low, and then start to lift up as you draw away from the base of the spine, and then exhale, push out of the hands and round the back and look towards the belly. And in this practice, get as smooth as you can. So you might start with some wrinkles or some kinks in the body, but through the use of awareness of the breath, start to smooth out every movement that you do. Good. Just keep flowing with this movement a few more times. I personally like to drop into child's pose in between as a way to just reset and then come into the next pose. Good. And then we'll come forward into our cow position. Take a nice full breath into the body. And then when you're ready to exhale, toes are tucked underneath, we're just going to peek into downward facing dog. So press right until you get to your threshold, and then go ahead and lower back and down onto the knees. And we'll inhale into a cow pose. Good. And then exhale, turn the gaze underneath, squeeze the belly as you press the hips up to the sky. Keep the heels high for these first few rounds. And then inhale and slide back and down. And now you're in your cow pose. One last time, pressing up into downward facing dog. This time, doing a little pedaling from side to side. Bending one knee and straightening opposite leg. Good. Try lifting up one of the feet and maybe circling out the ankle. And then do the other side. We're going to take a big step between the hands with our left foot, so all the way front and center, and then you're going to go ahead and walk your way up your body here. So pressing off of thigh. Good. Keep the back heel lifted if possible, and back leg is straight like a telephone pole. We're going to inhale and draw energy from the earth up through the legs, up through the spine and the hands for warrior one. The affirmation, I attune my will to the source of all power. I attune my will to the source of all power. And feel yourself coming in resonance with your own inner reservoir of power. You've had enough of the posture. You inhale to release the arms up and out, and then all the way back and down towards the earth. We're going to come into our lunge pose here. Inhale to lift the hips a little bit higher, and slide the front foot back and behind, and just peek into downward facing dog for a moment. When you're ready, you take your right foot and step all the way between the hands. Get nice and stable in your foundation here, and step one hand up to your thigh, right above the knee, and then the other hand, and walk yourself up your body. Back heel is lifted if possible for your body, and your back leg is strong. Front knee bending, and we rise up from the earth. And we're learning this dance of effort and relaxation. You may need a little more effort in your pose, or you may need to relax a bit more so that energy begins to flow. Keep the breath flowing and use the affirmation, I attune my will to the source of all power. I I attune my will to the source of all power. Get a little taller in the crown, at least for the last couple of breaths. I attune my will to the source of all power. When you feel that power coursing through your body, inhale to reach up and relax out and around. You're coming all the way back down to the earth, nice and controlled until you touch to the earth. Inhaling, lift the hips and start to look behind you, and you come right into downward facing dog. It's only a transition pose, so take 2 or 3 breaths. Good, and then exhale when you're ready to. Knees come down to the earth, and choose. You can take child's pose as your rest. Or another option, you can also sit in Vajrasana, which is the lightning bolt pose, or sitting over your ankles with palms facing up. Either way, close the eyes and watch internally. Soften the whole body and hear inwardly the affirmation, I attune my will to the source of all power. I attune my will to the source of all power. When you're ready, you can slowly open eyes. If you're down in child's pose, just start to draw the hands towards the knees and roll up. We're all coming up into tabletop, tucking toes back underneath. Let's take a moment here to extend the right leg back behind the body. We'll point the toes and then send left arm reaching in front. We'll use the affirmation for sun salutations. Salutations to the sun, to the awakening light within, to the dawning of higher consciousness in all beings. And feel that wonderful glowing quality of this affirmation. Salutations to the sun, to the awakening light within, to the dawning of higher consciousness in all beings. Some of us may venture to bend the knee and reach back for the ankle. Some of our bodies do not do this shape, and that's quite all right. Whenever you're ready, you slowly release back and down to the earth. Let's just take a little reset, inhaling, coming into cow pose, and then exhaling, rounding right back up into cat, and inhaling into cow, and exhaling into cat. At some point when you're ready, you return to neutral, this time stepping left foot to point in the space behind you. Some of us will rest the foot on the ground, others of us are hovering, and the opposite arm is reaching, so right arm this time. Good. Use the strength of your breath to extend and expand from your center. The affirmation, salutations to the sun, to the awakening light within, to the dawning of higher consciousness in all beings. One more time, if you can stay here, remain in the pose. Salutations to the sun, to the awakening light within, to the dawning of higher consciousness in all beings. And bursting from the center, inhale to reach away from the center of the body. Exhale, if you'd like to catch the ankle into the hand, feel free. Some of us, this is our opportunity to come down. All paths lead to a resting posture of either child's pose, or we come into Vajrasana and rest sitting over the ankles. And look intently right to the spiritual eye and feel that all your energy and attention is being magnetized to this point. Feeling the glow of 1,000 suns burning at this point at the center between the two eyebrows, anything that no longer serves you, thoughts, feelings, ways of being, let them be purified in this light. We'll take 2 or 3 breaths in total relaxation. And slowly coming back into the physical body, you can slowly begin to draw the hands towards the knees and then come out of your seat into tabletop position. So even in these transition sequences, use them as an opportunity to foster deeper connection with the body. Let's tuck toes underneath. You're going to inhale and draw into cow pose. And then as you're ready, exhale, push back into downward facing dog, looking to the left. A few stabilizing breaths here, letting all that wonderful vitality come back into the brain. And then we're going to step forward with the left foot all the way in between the hands. Good. Go ahead and step your left hand up on top of the knee or to the top of the thigh. And then go ahead and send the arm reaching up over into the side. So we're in a twisting position here. Good. Keep a solid breath coursing through the body. We're going to change the shape by dropping the left hand to the knee. Drop your back heel down, okay? And when you're ready, you can just press off of the leg here. And we set into our Warrior 2 foundation. Go ahead and drop your forearm right onto your thigh and send opposite arm straight above the head. Now some of us will lower down a little bit more and we'll reach the arm way over the head, creating one big side angle. And the affirmation, I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Let this one really wake your consciousness up. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. And let's go ahead and we'll recline all the way back. So drop the back arm down and just sort of pinwheel the body all the way around. Your foundation stays the same, so try to keep a deep bend in the front knee. And feel that quality, a fountain-like quality of energy bubbling from within. One final breath, inhaling to reach both arms up into the sky, and then facing the heart forwards and coming down onto the earth. You have to roll onto the ball of your back foot, and then go ahead and send this left leg all the way back up into the sky, reaching behind you, as high up as it'll go. And then go ahead and exhale, and we're going to settle down into pigeon pose. So sending left knee between the hands and sliding down. Good, untucking back toes if you so choose to. You're going to roll your shoulders out of the way and lift the heart. Try not to fold in the low spine, but let your heart release forward, your crown higher. The affirmation, I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. Beginning to feel the peace that awaits you in the present moment. When you're ready to lower down, at some point just fold the body forwards, lowering the head and releasing in the back of the neck. If the sensation's very strong, be mindful of the expression on your face. Make sure that it remains relaxed, even smiling. And then gently begin to build your way back up out of the relaxation phase. So pressing hands on either side of the knee, and then retuck the toes of the back foot underneath. By lowering the heart, you can lift the hips off the ground, lift the knee, and then slowly you can unstep out of the pigeon pose into downward facing dog. And then we're going to take a deep rest. So knees come down, arms stay extended for child's pose. Resting and feeling the alternating currents through the body, beginning to balance of Ida and Pingala, rising and falling on either sides of the spine. Feeling the body recalibrate. Remain present, engaged. Like you heard one of your favorite songs playing in the distance and you weren't quite sure what it was, but you were listening, that type of keen awareness. And you feel that all the inner excitement has begun to start to calm down again and recenter. This is a good indication of the time to rise out of your position. So when you are ready, we're going to slowly rise back into tabletop position, and we'll go through the sequence of the whole other side here. So hands are under the shoulders, and we're going to inhale and lift the hips, and exhale, look back towards the lap for downward facing dog. When you're ready, inhale and step the right foot all the way up between the hands. You're going to leave your left hand on the ground and step your right hand up to the knee and maybe even float up to the sky. So that you're in a side twisting position here, breathing, steady breath. You're ready to transition, your back heel's going down and your right hand's going right to the top of the thigh. And go ahead and use the strength of your legs to press and inhale as you rise to give you strength. You're in a Warrior Two foundation. And then we'll just drop the forearm down onto the thigh and send opposite arm reaching above the head for side angle pose. Try looking down at your knee and make sure it's somewhat over your ankle, whatever your body can accommodate. If you'd like to take your top arm and take palm facing down and reach overhead, this might be interesting. And in this posture, you want to feel like your spine is a sprout growing from the earth, that you're growing from the base of the hips rather than laying on the arms or resting on the body in some way. The affirmation, I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Nice steady breath. Got cutting through the inner fog of sleepiness, tiredness. We're going to drop the top arm now to the back lip. Inhaling, flip the shape to the reverse position. So right arm's up in the sky, left arm is down towards the back body. And try to maintain the deep bend in this front knee. Some of us are familiar with Mula Bandh, which is an engagement of the muscles in the pelvic floor upward. And if you engage those muscles, it becomes very much easier to stay in these postures. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. When you feel that you're ready, you just inhale both arms up into the sky, lengthen through the spine, and then we'll turn the heart forwards and let the hands come all the way back and down to the earth. You're going to have to roll on the ball of your back foot to exit the pose. Lift your hips a little higher and inhale, send right foot all the way up into the sky. It could be an inch off the ground, you could be touching the ceiling. Whatever your body is ready for. Stay here as long as you'd like, that feels supportive, and then draw your knee up between the hands, ankle out off to the side, and slowly descend down into your pigeon pose. If you like to untuck your toes, and don't worry if your hips don't make it to the earth. It's not so much about the outer form as the inner consciousness. So close the eyes, and for the first part of the pose, keep the heart lifted. The affirmation, I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. You might watch what's happening now, the breath, the feelings in different parts of the body. Your final inhalation in the active phase, feel that quality of rising above the thoughts of past and future. And then when you're ready to, you exhale and find your way down to a resting posture. So just make sure the head and the neck release. Stay as long as you'd like in the pose. For those of us ready to start exiting, start to build your way back to palms resting on the earth. Make sure you tuck the toes of your back foot underneath, and you lower your heart enough to lift the knee, then the hips. And once the arms are holding the weight of the body, then start to step back into your downward facing dog. This is our final time in the position, resting, looking back towards the lap. Again, if you like a little bending of one knee and then the other, and that feels nourishing in your body, feel free. When you've had your fill of the downward facing dog, you lower down onto your knees and sweep the feet out of the way. We're going to come down onto our backs. So you can hold onto the backs of your thighs and just roll your way back and down. Take the knees right in towards the chest. Relaxing the head onto the earth. You might do a little rocking side to side. And then you might place the feet onto the earth and let the knees now just roll side to side. It could be nice to take the arms wide and roll as far as your spine is ready to accommodate. So careful, especially those with low back injury, just not to force the body. Really, that's the teaching for all of us. Wait for the body to be ready for the movement. And if this feels wonderful, stay here. The ending of a practice, at least the way that I teach, is often very free form. So your intuition will guide you at this point based on what feels really good in your body. Try taking knees wide towards the shoulders, feet halfway to the sky for happy baby pose if you'd like. A great posture if you feel any blocks to a childlike joy, your inner joyful nature. This is the sacral center, the joy center. Good. And you might like to try connecting the feet together and with the hands to the inside, holding onto the feet, push the knees out of the way. It's almost like a butterfly on your back. And this can be a nice counter to release in the hips. Good. And then place feet down onto the ground as you're ready. Again, if you like the waving of the knees, go ahead and just keep waving. And you're soothing everything, soothing the body. And we'll set for one final little sequence. There are many ways to do this, but we're going to come into a plow pose. Plow pose is usually accessible to varying degrees. If you've never done it, or you don't know where you might fall in this progression of the posture, just take a look at me first. The easiest is knees in towards the chest. The next is to extend the legs and hold onto the backs of the calves until your weight shifts to the upper back. Others of us are going to plug elbows into the ground, and we're going to press off of them and sweep the feet and hold the hips. Some of us, our toes will touch the ground. And so you find one of those versions to remain in. Some of us, we bend the knees when we're back here. It becomes easier to stay. So now try it on your own and see what you might learn about your own body and your practice. And one more cue, without looking at me, just listen for any yogis that can touch feet to the earth. Reach your arms behind you, and this will deepen the pose. The affirmation, new life, new consciousness, now flood my brain. Say these internally and embody their consciousness. New life, new consciousness, now flood my brain. So while some of us feel right at home in this posture, others of us are quite ready to leave. And depending on where you are, that's when you decide to leave in the pose. Some of us are going to lengthen our legs up towards the sky, holding onto our hips. This is a supportive shoulder stand, and it's quite natural to go into this posture from plow. Now, if that seems too much, you can always just tuck the hands underneath the hips and send feet up to the sky. And we'll stick with the affirmation, new life, new consciousness, now flood my brain. Try looking to the spiritual eye, feeling that all of the channels in the spine are wide open, and that the river of consciousness is flowing inward and upward to the brain. Again, depending on your comfort level, you may like to stay here for quite a while, maybe 5 or 10 more breaths. Others of us, we feel intuitively that the body's ready to rest and recalibrate and interpret all these wonderful energies. If there's any final postures that you're craving, now's a good time to find those. And eventually you come down into Shavasana. So one leg at a time reaches long, and we rest the palms facing up. So you're lying on your back to finish. Furthermore, some of us like to sit in a meditative pose at, excuse me, at the end of practice and close the eyes to feel the benefits of the practice. So whatever you're desiring, you find that position. The final affirmation: bones, muscles, movement, I surrender now. Anxiety, elation, and depression, churning thoughts, all these I give into the hands of peace. Try saying it with me inwardly. Bones, muscles, movement, I surrender now. Anxiety, elation, and depression, churning thoughts, all these I give into the hands of peace. Gradually begin to invite our awareness back into the body. Bringing the awareness into the spiritual eye, and breathing and feeling wonderful waves of calm and light expanding out throughout the body. Joy, peace, and love from the heart, wisdom and power. Let the breath begin to deepen as these new divine qualities start to emerge from within you. You can deepen the breath further and start to make little movements of fingers and toes. Little micro movements until the arms are free to extend up overhead along the earth. Keeping the eyes closed for as long as is comfortable. You might take knees in towards the chest as you're ready to. A little rocking from one side to the other. And then as it's natural, rolling off to one side and pressing your way back up to a seated posture. Let this process be gradual. For those of us finding ourselves coming back to our seat, just make sure that you can feel the 2 points of your hips, the sits bones, plugging into the earth. Do a little rocking side to side until you actually feel them connect. And then a little forwards and backwards movement, and find that place that's effortless. And then a little spiraling, like you're walking up a spiral staircase. Get taller and taller, rising up the spine. Chin gently tucked towards the chest until you're right at the crown of the head, reaching. Palms facing upward. We'll rest with the inner gaze at the spiritual eye. Relaxing the whole body, just as if you were being guided by a professional dancer, trusting that they know the moves and the steps. They have the confidence. We just relax into their arms. This is how the divine works with our consciousness. When you're ready, you can take a nice deep breath and extend the palms upward facing above the head, just like how we started. Expand the field around you. Again, inhaling to rise up. Exhaling to expand. Rub the palms together. Just prepare yourself to send waves of blessing out into the world. Feeling your body as a channel. Extending the palms outward. We'll sound Om 3 times. Join when you're ready. Inhaling to begin. Joining hands together in prayer whenever you're ready. A gentle bow of our head towards our hands. We bow to the divine nature that's within our hearts, within our soul, within every being. And we go out with joy in our practice saying Namaste, Namaste. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Keep your eyes bright and awake for the day. Thank you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, everyone. Namaste.
Bye.